Multi-Tune of the Month. I'm Mari Black, and happy February. This month I have for you, by popular request, a really awesome old-time tune called Red Prairie Dawn by Garry Harrison, who's a great fiddler out of Illinois. Now this is an old-timey tune, and it's super old-time, but it is also one of those genre-bending tunes. I've heard this played by Irish musicians, by Scandinavian musicians, by Canadians, by you name it, because it's just such a great tune, such a great melody that everybody who hears it wants a piece of it, and I love tunes like that. So, you have excellent taste in tunes? Let's do it. Red Prairie Dawn. And that's the tune. If you're just listening, thanks for stopping by. And if you're ready to learn it, grab your instruments. Let's dive in. Okay, so this tune is in A major. 3 sharps, F, C, and G sharps are all present. Now, as with many old-time tunes, this is one where the skeleton of the melody is actually very simple. And the way you get it sounding all fancy and swingy and stylistic is by adding little bits of scaffolding. Like, what if I add a little double stop here? What if I did a little change in the rhythm here? What if I added a little string crossing there? And that's how I think about the old-time style working, is layers upon layers of very simple upgrades. But when you start to put more of them together, it gets real cool real fast. So we're actually going to learn Red Prairie Dawn exactly like that. We're going to start with the very basic skeleton of the tune, and then look at how we would add each layer, because this will give you not only a really awesome Red Prairie Dawn, but ideas of how to start scaffolding in cool stuff for other old-time tunes or simple melodies that, you know, work like old-time tunes. So here we go. I'm going to play the A section slowly, and I'm going to take all the stuff out, right down to the skeleton of the tune. A major, 1, 2, 3, and... Part 1. Part 2. Back to part 1. Here's the ending. Okay. So you could probably just rewind this video and play that with me a few times over and over and figure it right out. But if it helps you to break things down, I'm going to do that now. But since it's really simple, we are going to go a little quickly. So keep in mind, you can always, magic of YouTube, pause the video, practice a little bit, and unpause. You can always rewind and play with me. However many repetitions you want of any part, I will practice with you all you like. Okay, so choose your own adventure for how many reps. I'm diving in. First part. It's just these nice swingy quarter notes. All right, and no pickups I'm doing right now. I'm just starting right on the downbeat. Do it with me again. A major, start on the 5th of your A major arpeggio. C sharp, E, it starts on that E, ready, and... catch that arpeggio at the end? Let's try it again. 2, 3, and... One more. Good. Bowed string players, notice I'm making so I end up down bow at the beginning of each bar. So here, down, down. And I had to do a little slur in order to make that happen. Down, I slur it here, down. All right. Now I'm not going to talk so explicitly about bowing for every part of this, but just this idea that when you add in little scaffolding, little extra stuff, you may have to adjust your bowing slightly so that you continue to fall down bow on strong beats. And that's great. Do whatever bowing you need to get down bow on the strong beats, all string players. Thank you very much. One more time, part 1, skeleton. Very good. Now, if I go on to part 2, I'm down bow. I need to do a little pickup up bow, and it goes like this. Okay, so that moves a little more, right? Let's do it again. I'm going to take the pickup out for a second, go right on the downbeat. Okay, so let's break that down a little bit. I have basically a lot of neighbor tones at the front. I'm on my A, my root, neighbor tone, right? That's an upper neighbor. There's my root. I go a note above and back to the root, neighbor tone. I'm going to hop down to my F sharp second finger and play a lower neighbor. And back up. Neighbor tone, up the scale. Do it that much. And... Good. String players, remember that from other Tune of the Month videos that it can be really cool to slur neighbor tones. It would be a 3-note slur. I'm choosing to slur the second one. You could slur the first one only, the second one only, both or neither. Your choice. Ready? And neighbor tone, up the scale. That's the first half of part 2. One more time. And neighbor tone. All right, when I land there, here's my second half. So that's really old-timey, isn't it? Now the trick here is I'm starting on my second finger C sharp. String players, leave that finger down. Sound it out. In my head, I give a name to every little melodic phrase. I call that the flip because I'm flipping back and forth. I'm changing my upper note, but always coming back to that C sharp. Right? That name has no musical significance. It just means something to me. So you can give it any name you like or borrow mine, the flip. Very good. Now if we put those two things together, the neighbor tones and the flip, we get our whole part 2. Let's do it. Part 2, neighbor tones. Neighbor tone, up the scale, flip. Let's do it again. Sometimes I like to slur that last down the scale. Notice it becomes a slur of 3. We do lots of slurs of 3s in old-timey music. It's completely optional. Do it if you like the sound, or just stay separate bows. One more time, part 2. Ready? And neighbor tone, neighbor tone. Good, we're back to part 1. Get those swingy quarter notes. Very good. You already know that part because it's just coming back exactly like the beginning. And here's the ending. Notice it starts similarly to part 2. You just have the neighbor tones and then the ending. Good luck getting this out of your head. Hot crossed buns. That's it. Mi, re, do. Try it. Neighbor tones. Neighbor tone, neighbor tone. Up the mi, re, do. Again, ending. One more time. Excellent, and that's the whole A section, the skeleton. Let's put it together. All skeleton, 2 A's it completes. No pickups, just right on that downbeat. 1, 2, 3, and... Part 2. Here's the flip. Back to part 1. Here's our ending. Neighbor tone, up to mi, re, do. Practice that more, just rewind the video and practice with me 2 whole A's. Notice when I finish the first A and I repeat back, I do put in 2 little pickups, right? So here's my ending. Mi, re, do. Now my 2 pickups, I'm going to slur up though, and they go up the arpeggio. Do you see that? Up to E. And those are just there to help me connect back to part 1, because the ending finishes down on your A, right? And then the tune starts all the way up on the 5th, the E. So to connect that space, I can just do the arpeggio. Root, 3rd, 5th, da, dum. And not only does it sound better, it actually makes it easier. All right, good. So you can practice that all you like. Get your skeleton down. And let's now do the B section. Now I'm going to play it through, just the skeleton. And I want you to listen for anything familiar, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that might come from the A section. It goes like this. 2, 3, and... Did you hear that it's really familiar? Because it's basically the same part 2 as the A section, and it's basically the same ending as the A section. We have almost nothing to learn here, and we get a whole B. All right, now the part that's new is the part that when you play it slowly, just in the scaffold, the skeleton mode like we're doing right now, it's like, is that even a tune? But this is the part of the tune that's so cool and so awesome. It's the part that grabs everybody about this tune. And when we do the skeleton, it's just half notes. And it goes like this. Start on your C sharp, the 3rd of your A major chord, and count. 1, 2, hop across. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And that's it. All it's doing is cycling through. Essentially, it's an A major arpeggio, but we have that extra F sharp, and that's the money note. That's the cool one. All right, let's try it again. Start on your 2nd finger, C sharp, and string players is just going to hop straight across. Right, C sharp, F sharp, ready, and 1, 2, hop across. 1, 2. Now play your A. I recommend 4th finger. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, now this is where your 4th finger really starts to come in handy. If you haven't used a lot of 4th finger before, this is the place to start, because it's going to make your life a lot easier. if you play the open A string, what's going to end up happening is you end up with a double string crossing to get from this open A to the low C sharp. That's a lot, right? Nobody wants to do that many string crossing bows, particularly when this is supposed to be all flowy and groovy and smooth and stuff, right? So it's a lot easier to just play fourth finger. Then you don't have another string crossing. And it also gives you room for more double stops. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, which we will be putting in momentarily. Ready? Let's try it. Part one. Here are our half notes. Ready? And 1, 2, 1, 2, fourth finger. 1, 2, 1, 2. And you land on that low A. Again, please. 2, 3, and 1, 2, 1, and 1, and 1, and 1. Great. One more time just for funsies. Really swing your arm, bowed string players. Make that nice and groovy. And we're going to add 2 pickups. To get to that C sharp, we're going to go up the scale. Slur them if you're a string player. 2, 3, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Do again. 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. I can't resist. Let's start scaffolding right away. It needs some double stops, doesn't it? So what I'm going to do is when I play my second finger, I'm going to add my open string above. Same here. Now, fourth finger and open A together. There's that old-time unison drone. Try it again. 2, 3, pick up. 2, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, try it again. 1, 2, 3. 2. Sounding better, isn't it? Good. Okay, so now we're all the way down here. We have to get to part 2. So instead of doing the neighbor tones, we're just going to play an octave A. Again, fourth finger is very useful here. Low A, fourth finger A. Then right? So where it picks up is the bottom neighbor. Right? Do you recognize that from the A part? Bottom neighbor, up the scale to the flip. Good. So my words on the A jump up is swing, swing, because I kind of have a swingy feel to it in my arm and in my sound. Let's try it. Swing, swing, pick up the scale. Swing, swing. Pick up the scale to the flip. Good again, part 2. Swing, swing. Pick up the scale. Once again, part 2. Ready? And. Very good. If you need more reps, just go ahead and rewind. We're back to part 1, those groovy half notes. Double stop them if you like. 1, 2, 1, 2. Fourth finger. 1, 2, 2. Swing, swing. Oh, I went on to the ending, but you're ready for it, right? Do you see how it's the same as the part 2, only with our mi, re, do endings? Swing, swing. Pick up to mi, re, do, or hot cross buns, whatever words you want to use. Try to get ending. Swing, swing. Pick up to mi, re, do. You got it. That's the skeleton of the B section. Actually, it's a little decorated because we already have double stops in, but fine. Let's go ahead and do 2 Bs. Put the whole section together. Part 1, part 2, part 1 again, ending. Repeat with our pickups. Part 1, part 2, part 1 again, ending. Here we go. I'll do pickups, 2 pickups, slur up the scale. 1, 2, 3. Groovy half notes. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Part 2. Swing, swing. Pick up the scale. Flip. Back to part 1. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Ending. Swing, swing. Pick up to me. skeleton mode. Well done. Okay, so now is a good moment to make sure you're comfortable with the whole tune. You can go ahead and rewind and play A sections with me, play B sections with me, get everybody feeling good. All right, and once it's feeling good, it may be right now, it may be after some practice, it may be weeks down the line, it's totally choose your own adventure. Haha, magic of the internet. What we're gonna do now is to start to layer in more style. Okay, so let's start with that B section, because that's the like crowning jewel of the tune, and we've already started with adding in those double stops. When you double stop those half notes, suddenly they're so cool, right? So we already talked about having the upper open string. Now here, that one's a little sneakier. What I've done is I know I'm going to land on my low A first finger anyway for the end of the tune. So I just went ahead and put that first finger down on both my G and my D string. That's my low A chord. And when I play my C sharp, I have that third finger already ready to go. The way most old-time double stops work is if you're leaving your fingers on the string anyway, they become a double stop to something else, so long as they belong to the same chord. So I'm thinking when I put in double stops on this tune, a lot about my A major arpeggios, right? On the bottom, it's I call it my odds team. Longtime tune of the monthers know this, my odds team first and third fingers. That's my bottom A major arpeggio, root, third, fifth, and then on the top, it's my evens team, open 2 and 4, right? So those are the notes that are going to sound really good as drones for most of this tune. Since we're in A major, we want to drone notes from the A major chord. Very good principle. Okay, so let's try that. Drop your first finger. And then when I do my swing, swing, notice I have that fifth of the A chord on the bottom anyway, because I've just left that first finger down. It's available to double stop. Try it again. 1, 2, 3. 2, 2. Yeah, pretty good. Okay, you want to add even a little more. What some people will do is, right, when you go here, there's a little fill-in, a little scale, and notice I'm slurring that in. 2, fill in. And you can do it going down, right? Do you feel those little, I call it fill-in scales, where it's a skip anyway, right? I'm going from my F sharp to my A. There's a G sharp, a ghost G sharp right there in the middle that I could play on my way to the A. And I'm just going to slur it into the previous up bow, right? So it gets real smooth and connected. Let's try it. 1, 2, 3. Fill in. Fill in. Whoo, notice how fancy it starts to get. All I'm doing is adding drone double stops, which are there anyway, and I'm putting in 2 little fill-in scales. And suddenly it's gone a long way from just the half notes. Try one more time. 2, 3. 2, 1, 2, 2. Keep going. Notice I added a little double stop at the very end there, right? This I let go. Now when I have my little down the scale, if I slur it, I can just drone that open E with it because it's available, right? Try it. Very good. Back to part 1. Do your double stops and or your fill-ins as you like. 2. Ending. Ooh, that just got a lot fancier. Okay, so we all know hot cross buns, that's the skeleton, right? That's how the real tune goes. But nobody really plays it hot cross buns because, let's face it, we've all heard a little too much hot cross buns in our lives, haven't we? So we're going to decorate it. Instead of just doing hot cross buns, I can turn that into broken thirds. right? By skipping down after each word of hot cross buns. Hot cross buns, right? And remember from past Tune of the Month videos and hopefully the rest of your fiddling life, who am I kidding, that broken thirds work in teams. Evens team, odds team, land, right? Works really well. Try it. Just that evens team, odds team, land. Good again. One more. Put in the whole ending. Swing, swing. One more. Great. I'm going to add even one more element to this, and it's subtle, but it makes a big difference. So right now I'm set up to end down bow. There's my down bow. So that means I'm going to slur my next two pickups to get back to the next section. Now in past Tune of the Month videos, we've said that a way to add a little extra swinginess to the end of your tune is instead of ending down bow, to end on a, what I call a scoop up bow. I'm going to slur. Check it out. All normal. At the very end, I scoop my last note in on that up bow. Check it out. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, scoop up. And now I need to make sure that my next pickups slur down bow or go separate, so I still end up down bow on the next section. I'll have to fix that in the pickups. But I get that extra scoopy swing feel at the end. Let's try the whole ending with a scoop up bow. 2, 3, and... And if I wanted to, what I can do is, when I scoop up, add my fourth finger, play the with my fourth finger, plus the open string. There's that unison, fourth finger and open string. Now, that's a double stop we've talked about in past Tune of the Months doing old time. They use a lot of the unison, right? Fourth finger, A, and open string A together. Now, if it's well played, that's going to sound like one note, right? Because they're both A, and it should be in tune. They should match exactly, right? So it's not a double stop that changes the pitch, but it changes the quality, the timbre of the sound. You notice it sounds very different. Here's just my open string. Here's just my fourth finger. Here's it together. There's just this like je ne sais quoi kind of twanginess to it that's like immediately, aha, old time. The same sound also used to imitate bagpipes, by the way, in Scottish and Irish and other Celtic music. So a good trick to have in your pocket. And this is where using your fourth finger becomes really useful because you can get that unison drum. Yes, please. Okay, so let's now put together the whole B section. I'm going to play two Bs. I'm going to put in all the elevations. I'm going to use double stops and fill-ins on part 1. On part 2, I'm going to pick up the little double stop at the end. Back to part 1, double stops and fill-ins. And at the ending, I'm going to use the broken thirds instead of just plain old hot cross buns. Now, you don't have to use all of those. You can use some of them and not others. You can switch around which ones you use. You can use none of them. If you play the skeleton and I play the fancified, we're going to fit together just fine. That's the beauty of this tune. You can play it at any level of the scaffolding, and it will always work with any other level of the scaffolding. This is the beauty of old time. All right, here we go. Put in everything you can, but nothing that you don't want. Ready? 2 Bs. 1, 2, 3. 2. now that B section's sounding way more old-timey. Even if you just got one element in, it's already sounding more old-timey. Excellent. Practice that as you like. Pause, rewind, whatever. Let's circle back to the A and get this old-timey-ified. Okay, so just as a review, that first part, I bet you can already figure out where I'm going with that. Instead of open E, if I play fourth finger, guess what? Already it's like, oh, there it is. I'm just droning my upper string. When my fingers are playing on the A string, my bow is droning on the open E, part of the A major chord. When my fingers move down to the D string, my bow drones on the open A. Try it again. 1, 2, 3. One more, 2, 3. Pretty easy application after finding it in the B section, isn't it? Good. Okay, since that's probably feeling comfortable, I'm going to push one more level. I can play those straight quarter notes, and actually it's pretty fun to do that because they're really swingy, right? But if I do that every time, it can get a little pedantic. So what I do sometimes, and you heard it right up at the beginning of this video when I played the whole tune for you, is I'm going to use that scoop slur and change the rhythm just a little bit. I'm going to wait a little extra long on the first one. Did you see how I did that? Down, scoop up, and right? The rhythm means I have to change the bowing just a little bit, and that's okay. Down, scoop up, and then right here. Try it again. 2, 3, and wait, scoop up, and then go right here. Yeah. Just to contrast, go back to the quarter notes for a second. Straight quarter notes. Swing them. And now do the scoopy rhythm. Wait, scoop up, and swing. Very good. Part 2. Notice I'm treating that just like the B section. Anytime I have a slur, this is why I might like to slur those neighbor tones, I can drone the upper string. Right here. Right here. Try that with me. Back to part 1. Pick your rhythm, straight quarter notes or the swingy scoop, your choice. Here's the ending. Guess what? Add in drone double stops, and instead of just hot cross buns, you could do the broken thirds. And the scoop at the end. Hey, go figure. Play 2 A's, please. I went a little quickly through how to put those layers in on the A section because it's all the same principles as the B section, right? But if you need any extra time to figure it out, just pause the video and practice. I'll still be here when you're done. 2 A's. Scaffold in as much style as you can. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. There you go. So you notice I was switching off in part 1, whether I did the swingy quarter notes or the cool scoopy rhythm. And even at that very end, I chose not to, on the last time, not to do the broken thirds. Da, 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 da. I just played hot cross buns, but with double stops. And you know what? if you're not doing that every time, turns out hot cross buns can be kind of cool if it's double stopped, right? So just because something's simple doesn't mean it can't be awesome, right? It means you want options. And that's why I like thinking of these tunes as a skeleton and then scaffolds, that I can choose to put double stops in one time and take them out another. I can change the rhythm, do it swingy quarter notes one time, scoopy the other. I could do hot cross buns one and broken thirds one, right? I have options to choose between. And if I'm thinking about my tune, like we do here on Tune of the Month and hopefully everywhere in your tunes, with a roadmap, right? Part 1, part 2, part 1 again ending, and I kind of know all my options for each mini section, it becomes like a multiple choice choose your own adventure. Every time I have a part 1, I have my options: swingy quarter notes, scoopy rhythm, yes double stops, no double stops. I'll just select, like ordering a sandwich or a custom salad bowl or something. I'll just select, I'm going to do this. And then part 2, here are my options. I'll do this. Part 1 again, oh, I'll choose differently this time. How about this, right? And that's how I get this sense of, variation. I'm not making everything up every time. I know my options and I'm choosing between them. So I just give you a ton of options to play with. As always, here at the very end of the video of Tune of the Month, I'm going to just blow open the roof for you. Obviously, what I showed you are not the only options. I didn't really change the melody at all, but it is certainly within your rights and within the style to do that. And you might do it with the ending, right? So if we just took hot cross buns, we don't just have to, we could, or, what? Right? I'm taking different patterns and everyone's like, whoa, what just happened? Don't worry, you don't need to learn any of those or know any of those. I was just trying to figure out different ways that I could decorate hot cross buns, right? That I'm trying to start on the third and end on the root. And it's just like playing connect the dots. We've done these in past Tune of the Month videos, so it hopefully if you've hung out with me for a long time, this isn't a new idea. Or if you know old time style, this definitely isn't a new idea because they do this all the time. But how many different options could you create for yourself for that ending? Or for the flip, or for part 1. You could create options all day on any part of these, right? And how you'll know it's a good option is if it sounds cool, but still sounds like it fits in Red Prairie Dawn. If you go too far, you'll hear it because you'll lose the sense of like, oh, this is a different tune. All right. So to finish up, let's play through the whole tune. We'll go just once. 2 A's, 2 B's. Play any options you like to make style. I'll pick some options from what we did here and see what you can put in. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and... Part 2. Back to part 1. Ending. B section. 1, 2. It'll hopefully give you a great Red Prairie Dawn and hopefully even more, give you ideas that you can apply to any other tune that you like. The old time tunes tend to have very simple skeletons, not because they're simple tunes or anything like that. It's because they want lots of room for the individual musician to be able to scaffold and add things in. It's room for your personality to start coming through. So start playing around with it and see what you can find on this tune, on other tunes. And as always, we're doing things by ear here on Tune of the Month because that is the traditional way that fiddle tunes are learned and passed down, and it's very cool. So we want you doing that, but if it's helpful for you to see the sheet music for this and any future tunes of the month, make sure you're subscribed to my email newsletter. Just go to my website, www.mariblack.com, and sign up for the newsletter. Once a month, you'll get an email from me with a little hello, and as a special bonus for subscribers to my email newsletter, my handwritten version of the current month's Tune of the Month. So if you're already subscribed, you already have Red Prairie Dawn in your inbox. And if you're subscribing in the future, hope it's nice out there, and you will have future Tunes of the Month coming to your email box very soon. So hope this is fun, and I can't wait to see you guys out there and get to play this tune with you in the real world, which is always more fun than screens. Stay tuned for next month, and we'll do more tunes. Bye!